Alright, so Turbo Outrun, a game I've more or less never played beyond testing it a little bit. And I'm going to, for the first time ever, just play through it, just pump in quarters. In fact, let's just pump in a bunch of quarters. And as you can see, this is this is actually not like a Cannonball run. This is a Cannonball run. I had pointed out in Radmobile that game was like a reverse Cannonball run, because you start in Los Angeles and end in New York. So I guess that's exactly what it was. Reverse Cannonball run. But yeah, this one follows the New York to California path, which is going to be fun. Interestingly enough, what made Yu Suzuki ditch the Cannonball Run idea was driving across the USA and thinking that it was like a bland, ugly place. Which a lot of it, if you're traveling via interstate highway, that's definitely going to be the experience you have. I'm sure it's not great. You're not actually going out to places where people want to live in this country when you do that. Oops, I accidentally down geared instead of getting my nitrous, which is what I was trying to do. Nitrous in the rain. I'm getting a lot of these same kind of racing game experiences right now as I play through the Crew Motorfest, which I deeply regret not doing a stream of. It's actually pretty entertaining. I'm like more than halfway through the game now, so I don't know if showing just a little slice of it is worthwhile or whatever, but it's pretty great, really. I'm not trying to like boost Ubisoft, because there's definitely some stanky Ubisoft aspects to that game, but it's still a really good game. That turbo, and it does get terrifyingly fast when you use the turbo, for sure. There's definitely a true fact about that. Run out. This is about as far as I made it last time. Doesn't matter, we're burning up credits here. Today, the quarters are free. Question is, why is my car not moving? I was expecting it to lurch forward and it never did there, so not quite sure what I'm doing wrong. Maybe you can't pump the gas on this? I don't know. You tell me. Sorry, my dogs are losing their mind because my wife's in another room or something right now. I'm not doing a very good job of noticing when turbo's available. Did I not even make it through one stage on that quarter? Oh, it doesn't. It sets you back to a checkpoint or something, huh? This is going to be genuinely very hard. And I put it on the easiest setting, which is just easy. There's not really a... This doesn't have nearly as many options for difficulty as Outrun does. I want to say Outrun had all of its difficulty options in its test menu, and this test menu just only... Oh god, I'm forgetting to shift up. I might have to do the automatic transmission. Since I'm trying to worry about turbo and shifting, it actually is getting to be more overwhelming than I thought it would be. I was like laughing at the idea of having fucking need an automatic for a 2-gear car, but here we are. It's really hard to go fast in this game though, because you will crash, and the turbo is so fast. This is weird. This is a weird, hard game. I may not be able to beat it with like unlimited credits. That's where we're at on this one. I have a feeling I'm gonna lose interest in this game really fast. Yeah, this is the black sheep of the Outrun family for a reason. It's not as good as the other games. I mean, that's a weird thing to say too, because technically it plays exactly like Outrun. The music's worse. The turbo is not really viable. Like it's not reasonable to use because of the way the game plays. It's not as reasonable to use as it is in like Chase HQ or something. It's just kind of awful. It flings you off the side of the road and this happens. You gotta hit those checkpoints. Or else you're literally going nowhere. I don't think you can turn the turbo off either once you turn it on, but you can slow down. Like you don't have to turbo gas. You don't have to gas the turbo. It's not auto gassing your car or anything like that. I think it just kills the turbo if you do something like that, though. Maybe I still get a little bit of it here. I wonder what a stage is in this game. Surely that's not just like California or whatever, right? That's the whole Southwest or something. Oh, you get upgrades. I am taking the tires first because that is smart. That kind of makes it more interesting, but then you want to have tons of credits to play there because it's too fucking hard to play otherwise. There we go. The upgrade aspect's pretty interesting. They really did add a lot of elements to the game, so I'm sure they're thinking, this is the perfect successor. When really it's like not really what anyone wanted. Again, forgetting to shift up there, that's real bad. think I'm starting to understand how this game plays a little better. It's strangely complicated. You really got to just pay attention to your tachometer to make sure that you shift to high when you need to. You burn nitrous when you're driving straight. Shutting off stops your nitrous, which starts cooling it back down again. I'm also occasionally trying to shift down the square because that's my normal Gran Turismo type controls. Shift up and shift down, shift up with X and shift down, but it's X for both on here, and I just have to remember that it toggles it. And Final Burn has a handy little on-screen display for us for that. It's in the bottom right-hand corner there. So that's something you can turn on and off. If it bothers you that you're missing a few of the original pixels to show you what gear your car is in. Not sure if there's a way to make it display outside of the 4:3 frame. I guess that would be ideal for a lot of people. Let's go with the... nope, that's not what I wanted, but ran out of time. There we go. Special turbo it is, I guess. Turbo mostly just gets me in trouble, I feel like. We finally make it back to the original Outrun somehow. There we go. Cloudy skies, that makes it a little different. God damn, dude. Dude. Come on. New Orleans, huh? I'm getting there. What was that last one supposed to be, like Florida or something? Like Florida or like Alabama or something? Somewhere with a beach. There we go. It's still sad how often I hit the wrong button because I'm either hitting square, which does nothing, or I'm hitting X when I mean to hit circle, or circle when I mean to hit X because I'm trying to shift, or turbo and I'm doing the wrong one. Happens a lot. Those feel like a much longer game than Outrun. It's like almost like doing every Outrun level instead of having the branching set of 5 paths. You're doing like however many that is.
Good luck.
15. Cops don't ever actually seem to do anything on this. Sorry, we just don't have the authority to pull you over. It's almost like they're going after someone else who's not me or something. It's the weirdest thing. This is getting really irritating around this part, by the way. This is some really, really hard level. And having it be checkpoint based is just... If I get stuck, we'll just reset, maybe try a little bit to score to see how fun that is, which is questionable. And move on to something else. I mean, it would be fun, but it's just so hard, you know. And it also lacks the charm of the original Outrun, which does not help it. The third game in the series, however, is fantastic. I've already done a stream on that. That's Outrunners, which is just a great game. Really holds up a lot better than this title, I think. But again, this isn't some like awful crap. It's just Outrun. It's just really hard Outrun with a bunch of weird extra features. Some people might really like that. You played a whole hell of a lot of Outrun, and you're like, man, I need a better Outrun challenge. Well, here you go. There's Outrun Championship Edition right here. Turbo Edition, I guess. Literally. Turbo in it. Turbo's available. I'm going to use it too eventually. Eventually, I'm going to get someplace where I feel like I can use it. I'm not... That place doesn't exist, but I'm going to use it anyway. It's just a continue fest from this point, huh? Yeah. I've been to Dallas a lot of times, and let me tell you, it does not have rolling desert hills in the background. That's not what Dallas looks like. If you want to know, if you want a racing game that accurately represents what Dallas looks like, I think to some extent the original The Crew got it right, but what does even better is Burnout Dominator on PlayStation 2 has a track called like Black Oil Highway or something like that. That's what Dallas looks like, for real. A shockingly accurate depiction. Alright, now we get the level up for the engine. It's literally the only option. So. Every time I'm like, yeah, I'm about to hit the... Nope, not going to hit the turbo button, going to go off the road. And if I do hit the turbo button, I go insanely off the road, and that's exactly what happens. You know, I think playing this game on automatic might be a lot more fun. I think I'm going to do that next time. I feel like I'm missing out in a way. Like, I can't enjoy the turbo aspect of the game because of that, for one thing. It's weird, though. Like, the manual control is such a big part of like how the original Outrun plays that I kind of don't want to turn it off. But at the same time, these roads are just not. They're very twisty. You're spending a lot of time in low gear. So much time in low gear that you can hardly even think about when you get an opportunity to do high gear. You're like, hot damn, high gear for a second, and then you don't even remember you have turbo. You know what I mean? It's too much for me right now. I think maybe if you played it a lot, you could switch over to the. Man, this is a tough ass Outrun game. This is a really hard one. Damn. I think what's going to happen is if I repeat this level, because I don't like the idea of repeating levels, I really don't. I might start over with the automatic. I don't want to play the same level twice and not or more and not get through it. That's awful. But I feel like that's what we're staring down the barrel of right now. Forgot to put it in high gear. Yeah, we're gonna do no on the continue. That's too much for me. I can't handle the shifting and the turbo. And you've got to use the turbo to make it through the game. So that is some pretty brutal stuff. That is some fairly brutal gameplay.
Challenge again.
Alright, try it again.
Automatic.
Get all about that X button. It's not a thing anymore.
Checkpoint.
Keep mashing that X button, doesn't do shit. Doesn't have a function in this game. Just keep mashing it. I'm gonna move that over to another button, maybe.
Checkpoint.
this turbo and they just don't want to let me, do they? I finally found a spot where I'd try it. I still have to continue. Still have to continue on this. Is that the second level? Second level of the game. I may not be able to get through this one even with infinite credits. It's just, it has a checkpoint system and it's just very, very hard. Some of the races seem too hard to get from one checkpoint to the next. For me. The game is too fast for one thing. This is a very insanely fast game. With the turbo enacted, it's like with turbo enabled, you're doing about twice the speed you are in the original Outrun, and it doesn't play well at that speed. It wasn't made to be that fast, I don't think. So, you can do it for about a total of a half a second before you get to a part that's too twisty to use it on.
Good luck.
I think that this was distributed as an upgrade cabinet, and I wouldn't be surprised if there were people who went to arcades and were just straight up pissed when Outrun got replaced with this. And it's not, again, it's not like a crazy worse game or anything, it's just that it's so much less likable, because they took the charm of the original game away, like, not just audio visually, but then they also made it kind of a frustrating game, which Outrun really wasn't designed to be. It was designed to be a cool drive where you're having a cool time because you're a cool dude out on the highway. It's supposed to be kind of chill, you know, like by nature. And they made it a very not chill game. They made an extremely not chill take on Outrun.
Refit your car. My power engine. Good luck. All right.
I mean, I think maybe that goes along with the idea of it being like the American Outrun too. It's the American one, so it's tough, you know, and you're challenged. I don't know. Also, the car's no longer a Ferrari and it's now something generic. Is that the case? Oh, the girl's not with you if you're in automatic mode? Is that true too? That's interesting. Kind of implying you're not cool enough. I almost accidentally chose to not continue there.
Good luck.
Although that's pretty soon. That's going to be accidentally on purpose, I bet you.
Checkpoint.
I think this game uses the same sort of mixed 30 FPS that Outrun uses as well. Which, if you run these through a frame checker, it'll show 60 FPS because they update the sprites on one frame and then they update the background. I think they update the screen raster effect on every other frame from the sprite scale. And I want to say the background even moves at 60 FPS. So. But it might be on one of the two offsets. But effectively, it's closer to a 30 Hz game than a 60 one. It doesn't feel. It doesn't seem like it's not very smooth or anything like that, though. It's a pretty good way to do it, I think, to interlace the frame rate together like that. I think it makes it feel a little bit smoother than it actually is. That's about as close as you can get.
Good luck.
Loading up on quarters again. That's not turbo. That's turbo.
Very good.
There we go.
Refit your car.
Wait, she is in the car now. What happened? Did she fall out? I don't know the rules of the game anymore. Oh, shit.
Checkpoint.
Where the hell did she go that one time? Now I'm really wondering about that. That's something to go back and look at the stream to figure out.
Good luck.
Is there a certain number of continues on a stage before she leaves? Probably figure that out too.
Checkpoint.
I mean, the weird thing about this Outrun is it is more, even regardless of the difficulty settings, it's more fun to play just with unlimited credits, go far in the game, get a bunch of upgrades and stuff, which is in itself very different than the original Outrun, which I think was despite being a more chill game, also worked better as like a score chase kind of thing. Fucking what? What? This is exhausting sometimes with the wrecks, right? Like it's just turn, 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 cars all through the turns, flings you right out of the game. It is a relentless son of a bitch on some of this stuff. Like just some of the areas of the track are really narrow or have like a whole bunch of rough track in them, and then they'll cram enemies into it and just have you like ping pong through the whole thing. It's a tough one.
Very good. Refit your car.
Yeah, this is probably like a 7 out of 10 kind of game, so I'm going to go ahead and throw down a rating here. Which is, far cry from Outrun, which is probably a 9 out of 10. Some people would say a 10 out of 10. I feel like that's stretching it a bit. Maybe it's not really a 10 out of 10, but it's a racing game, yeah, but it's an excellent racing game that everyone loves. This one's tries to do more, and as a result ends up doing a little less, or just coming across as a little less of a gem, but still really solid Sega racing. Fast, colorful, fancy scaling effects everywhere. A lot of cool ideas they're trying out with the weather stuff and things like that. They go even a little further with some of these ideas in Radmobile. I feel like Radmobile is more related to this game than any Outrun game, by the way. Radmobile is a continuation of this game's ideas. They go back to doing a cannonball run across the U.S., except for they do it in reverse from LA to New York. They focus on weather effects. Cops harass you. There's more interactive elements with the car. Not nitrous, but they have stuff like windshield wipers and headlights. So they try to stick in some sim elements. I don't know who the director on these specific versions of these games are, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's just, and maybe it is just Suzuki on both, I don't know. But I feel like there's a lot of the same ideas implemented across Turbo Outrun and Radmobile, or Gil Racer, is what they may call it in your location. Turbo Outrun and Radmobile or Gil Racer have a lot in common. I don't think Turbo Outrun has any alternate name. I think it's just called Turbo Outrun. Oklahoma City's where I got stuck last time I played, and I think it might be where I get stuck this time too. God, what a fucking horrible fate. There aren't actually a bunch of cornfields in Oklahoma City, or any, probably. I don't know. I don't think I can get to this level. This might be about all the Turbo Outrun I can do. I like the music here a little better, at least. It's just Oklahoma City levels filled with a bunch of square turns that are super hard to make in this game. Even with the tire upgrades, I'm not making them. Finally made it to Denver. It's also really weird that you dip all the way down to Dallas. I don't think any real Cannonball run would take you there. OKC maybe, because Route 66 runs through it or whatever, so there's definitely some old highway that connects new highway stuff all throughout that. Or maybe you're passing down through I-35 or something, but like, you're not gonna go, like, why would you go to Dallas? More likely, it seems like you would pass through somewhere further up north, like, I don't know, Lincoln or something, you know? But I guess Oklahoma City makes sense because you would want to get down to, like, run through the highway sections that go from Colorado through the southwest states, you know, Arizona and all that, down into California. This is an unbelievably frustrating fucking game. Like, it's, you know, this is the easiest difficulty, I don't know what to say. Crash into everything, stop constantly. Road's too curvy to use the turbo feature ever. It's just instant wrecking. You hit turbo, you wreck. Hit turbo, wreck your car. Boom. Turbo, psh, wall. There's no using it. It's not like a usable button. A novelty that it doesn't even have any purpose in the game at this point because there's not enough straight road to use it on. She gave up or left, yeah. Yeah. This is not particularly playable. I'm not gonna give up right away. Well, hell, I've got 2 credits. Let's just burn them out. 2 more credits, and that's it. That's all I'm giving this. This is not. This gets way too frustrating too fast, and it has like 600 million levels. I guess you can appreciate that about it. But yeah, man, it gets so. This is like whatever the hardest level is in the original Outrun, this particular level I'm on right now is 100 times harder than that. I don't even know how to express it. It's so much harder than anything that's even in Outrun. Like, look at this. Look at this dumb shit. What do they call those Super Mario Brother levels that are made to be as impossible as possible? Kaizo levels? This is Kaizo Outrun, guys. That's what Turbo Outrun is it's Kaizo Outrun. Like, this level in particular is just them seeing how many twisty turns they can cram into a level. Like, it's just as many packed together twisty turns as possible. And it absolutely is not fun to play because of that. This is an actual not fun level in the game because it's just packed in twisty turns. There's no way to do it. It's not like it just feels like it's designed to rip you off and take your money, which is not something I ever feel when I play the original Outrun. Even on its default setting, it's like super hard and I can't do it, but it doesn't feel impossible. But this is on the easiest setting and it just doesn't feel like there's a. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure people get through it, but how the fuck? It's just a mess, man. Yeah, I'm done with this one. I'm gonna take a little break. It's frustrating. I don't think it's a terrible game or anything. I stand by my 7 out of 10 rating on this one. It gets way too hard, but it's not like you didn't play enough Outrun by that point. So I won't be able to see the ending of it, but there's not an easier setting, so there's not really anything I can do to see the ending of it besides maybe cheat. And I don't really know how to do that, like how to cheat on the timer or something. But I don't know. Take a little break, step aside here, and I'll be right back. And we'll probably just find something else to play. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. Thanks for watching.
Challenge again.
Alright, well, I'm hitting these Sega sequels to arcade racing games. Let's go ahead and hit the also a conversion kit sequel to the other game I've been referencing so much here, which is Radmobile or Gale Racer. Got a sequel that I don't know what it's called in other regions, but here is called Rad Rally. It might be like Gale Rally, or I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing here with the logo missing thing here. Clicking the wrong thing. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get this one set up. This will take me just a second here. I'm almost positive that this is going to require I do some sort of setup through the test menu or something to get the difficulty toned down. This is probably like R Rally or something. Got a lot of arcade games we could play. That's the whole idea. Maybe it's Rad R. Yeah, it is Rad R. Yep. Okay, let me see what my options are on this particular game. It's weird that the LR switch display looks different on here. It's the same emulator. Why the fuck would it be any different? Interestingly enough, it looks like they ditched the windshield wiper and the headlight elements, which are the more sim elements. They actually ditched that for the more rally game. That's weird all around, yo. Let's see if there's difficulty options. There are not. So that means we're going to do it through the menu. Let me try this again. Test switch. Has always been hold down start for as long as I can remember. So this has no options, it has no test menu, and it doesn't have any dip switches either. That feels like it's a bullshit story. Okay, let's see here. Controls, is there a test button? It's assigned. Service button. L3, perhaps that's it. Nope. This does not appear to have any options. So this is going to be wild as shit. Who knows what kind of experience we're going to have here. Interestingly enough, this one gives you a large rear view mirror. Check it out. Well, my timing is impeccable. There you go. Yeah, we're just gonna. Weird. Sorry. I guess my controller got touchy about its input or something. Not real sure why any of that happened. Oh, I was stuck in high. Yeah, I guess that's the difference, though. This is a 2-gear transmission, back to that kind of thing, whereas Rad Racer was not was fully automatic, but it had all those other buttons for that weird shit like I was talking about. I forgot how touchy the controls are on these too. That was true for the other game as well. Not Turbo Outrun. It controlled about perfect. I almost feel like Outrun is the game that Final Burn like calibrated all of its analog stick around. Well, I guess yeah, it is, along with like Afterburner and stuff. So it's like perfect for those. Now this game, it feels just a little touchy. Like there's like a kind of a little to no dead zone, and you have to work it carefully from the center of the stick. It's a little bit like the control on Daytona for Dreamcast, which I might play at some point as well. That's a kind of interesting game. I don't like it as much as any other version of Daytona, probably. Well, I like it better than the Saturn games, but I would rather just play the arcade version of Daytona, you know what I mean? But the Dreamcast one's its own different weird game. Not the worst racing game on the Dreamcast. Not the best either. Just one of many. This particular game did not get ported to anything. The original Radmobile, as its Japanese game, Gale Racer, was released in Japan for the Saturn, and nothing else. But this got ported to nothing. Actually, outside of Gale Racer, I don't think any System 32 game has ever been ported to anything. Oh, there's one weird little emulated arcade tabletop that has Golden Axe, Revenge of Death Adder in it. Like a Sega, classic Sega. Yeah, that one's pretty weird. It's got Virtua Fighting also. Virtua Fighter 1. Just let me continue from where I was, or is it checkpoint based, or what? Because I was 99% of the way through the level, and that's frustrating. The copy animation is just used for running out of time now. That used to be specifically for getting busted by cops, which doesn't seem to be a thing. It's weird that they simplified the game in so many ways. Oh, you know what? I've still got the wrong marquee up. I can't do that. Hang on. That was just a test run on this title, but we're going to go with it. We're going to give it another shot. I don't know if it had a continue option. I wasn't even paying attention. I just know that we were testing it out. There's a giant watermark on it. How about not? Yeah, one moment while I get this sorted out. This turned out to be a bigger problem than I thought. Alright, I found an image, and it's like the most poor quality marquee I think I've been forced to go with yet. But that's all I could do. Either that or massive games database watermark, so pick your poison. We're going with like the 4-pixel version here instead. Let's get into it. Sunset, rain, nightfall, mountain. Or night, not nightfall. I'm not even sure what purpose the rear view mirror really serves. Like, what am I really getting out of that? Are there police chases, and that's why I would want a rear view mirror? Because that's the thing that would make the most sense, but I haven't seen anything like that yet. Oh, I need to update the name of the stream as well. I keep forgetting all the little details here, don't I? That means I gotta figure out what year this shit came out. Oh, there's these rivals. That's probably what it's all about. So it's a drafting thing. If you stay in the same lane as them, you catch up with them. And if they stay in the same lane as you, they catch up with you. Oh, and then you get tricked into running into a car like that. That's how that works. Didn't beat my rival, but I did finish the stage, which is nice.
You'll never catch me.
What the fuck is all this even about? Oh, okay. So each stage has its own ending, and they basically just eat your money after you beat it. Which I mean, it's an arcade game. You know, you gotta understand the design a little bit. You can feel that coming off Turbo Outrun a lot too. But like here, yeah, and it's just kind of a different deal where one of them is in a strangely difficult, and you know what I mean. It kind of stretches on a bit. Like it's just what an odd game Turbo Outrun is in several ways. This one feels more just like a regular Sega deal. Like how their later games, their 3D model games, certainly are like that. Like Virtua Racing, you pick one of three races, you do it, you did it, it's done. When did this shit come out? Is it 91? Oh, the main thing was that this was a link cabinet two-player thing. Oh, that makes sense. I played it on a single-player stand-up cabinet though, which I'm fairly certain was converted from Radmobile. It may have even had Radmobile art on it still, but I did play it in an arcade. I swear I did. I seem to remember it at least. '91. Okay. Oh, the app is the easiest way to change the title. Hang on. I'll just keep adding games if I have time to play them. Well, I'll probably have to get off here in about an hour, but so this will probably be about it. But it's pretty fun. This is a good way to do it though. When I do have time to stream for 2 or 3 hours, just play a game, whether it's because I'm always trying to pick that perfect game that I can have fun with for 2 or 3 hours. And there's lots of good games like that out there. There's lots of stuff like this too, which is like a fun racing game, but you're probably not gonna play with it for more than an hour. You know what I mean? It's a little on the simple side. Rain sounds exciting. And part of the simplifying it down was to focus on multiplayer. That's horrible. The Vipers come on automatically for you here. Visibility is pretty rough though. I wonder if this is accurate in terms of color and stuff. I really don't know. I wouldn't vouch for it. This is a much smoother playing, more Sega feeling, less frustrating game than Turbo Outrun. Um, thought. It's not to say it can't be frustrating. It's challenging, but it's not. It controls really well. Ooh, you can't go over there at all. There's no way to break that once you are on a certain side of it. That's really interesting. That lightning effect is cool too. Yeah, I'm having a lot more fun with this one. I have more fun with Radmo. Uh, did I make it? Just barely. Oh, I gotta shift down because of that. I was gonna say I had a lot of fun when I played Radmobile, and that's a stream I did not too long ago. The System 32 is so underappreciated. I preach that all the time. And the rad racing games aren't even the best ones on it. It's Outrunners. That's the real gem. That game is way awesome. It is only topped by Outrun 2, which is an amazing game. I don't know if they should have titled it Outrun 2. Because Turbo's fairly worthy as a sequel, I guess, but and Outrunners certainly is. It's like the fourth Outrun game. Almost made it. Should we try? Let's just keep moving on to other ones and we'll come back to it. I mean, they're all just one race anyway, right? Night is a particularly hard to focus one. Now, Sega did kind of boost Radmobile as being like their first 32-bit game, even though it's not more impressive than their multi-16-bit games like Galaxy Force 2, which is mind-blowing. That's the height of screen or sprite scaling, super scaler, whatever you want to call it. But they were trying to hint that this is what the next generation of home console stuff will look like, because the System 32 was like a much more affordable way to do that effect, those kinds of graphic effects. And that's what the Saturn was being kind of like. That's kind of the thinking behind the Saturn. You know what I mean? Whereas the 32X was more oddly designed to be like the virtual racing chip. They had some similarities early on, and then the Saturn was kind of like overhauled to be more 3D capable. The final hardware is pretty awesome in my opinion. I feel like, I mean, most powerful is a tough descriptor for the machines of that era because they're all so different. But I feel like in a lot of ways, the Saturn's the most powerful. PlayStation's power was it put the most stuff on the screen, even if it was a little bit gross about it. It could do the most 3D stuff all at once. It was easy to develop for because it had a single effective processor in it. Saturn was complicated, and everybody knows that, complicated and hard to develop for, had a lot of parts to it, but that meant it could also do like a lot of weird stuff if you knew how to make it tick. It was really good at replicating arcade games that were made out of a lot of weird stuff. In the Saturn version of Radmobile, they did decide to use 3D models for the cars. A lot of people don't like that choice. There's no way to turn it off as far as I know. So close. Pretty close on that one. Rain level, I don't even think I got all that close. It was a rough one. These are each fun to kind of try, though. I mean, it's not quite Sega Rally quality. They weren't there yet, but yeah, this is their first arcade rally game, I guess. It is the direct predecessor of Sega Rally. And even though this game uses the same graphics as Radmobile, like I don't think it has any unique sprites in it really. These tracks are different. Like I don't think these are recycled tracks or anything, as far as I know. Ooh. This is probably the hardest one. This is the part that I always have the most trouble with on Radmobile. Oh, jeez. Which of these did I get closest on? Probably night, right? Let's try night again and see if we can beat it. Maybe these are just, yeah, chunks from the other game. I guess I could have done them, back to back. That's the advantage of streaming stuff. I can just compare them. I was like, I can still catch up with this dude. I just got to figure out what lane he's in, and then boom, car right to the face. And same thing, very close. Oh shit, I need to gear up. Just trying to see what time it was. I'm going to show you how touchy it can be there. I did it. Well, alright, is there some sort of ending for this one then? Yeah. It's the same as the other one.
You'll never catch me.
I did better that time. We really do have to focus narrowly on those rivals and staying behind them, and I haven't done such a great job of that. That's kind of where the gameplay's at in this one. Night. If you can select it. Fun track. Not going well this time. Oops. Stuff in low gear. I made a lot of horrible mistakes this time. I don't know if I can come back from all that shit. Shit. Beef Star hamburgers. Sounds like some good stuff. I'm gonna try Mountain again, even though it's horrible. shit. I was doing so well this time. I was in the zone. I'm following the car zone, which is what this is really all about. Hey, I did it. So yeah, I would recommend Radmobile or Gale Racer over this game. Not that this is bad or anything. This is just seems like such a small slice of the same thing. Why not just play the whole enchilada, right? But yeah, if you have a two-player setup of any sort, which is probably not that hard to do with an emulator, I don't think. I don't know though. You know, I really need to mess around with Fightcade at some point. I know it has a lot of online support and it's probably pretty interesting in that regard. I could probably just jump on and play beat 'em ups and stuff with people sometimes or whatever. But yeah, it might support things like this. I could probably set up the emulator to force two screens on one screen and set up two inputs or whatever for it to do it locally. But yeah, so Outrunners has that feature actually. That's what's really cool about this hardware is it can actually power two screens worth of this stuff. I think. I don't know if this one requires two separate ROMs running though or something. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I do know that I have one credit left. Yeah, I say that, but I could see some people liking this game better than Radmobile. It certainly has some differences. I mean, there's the whole chasing another car aspect of it is much more focused in this game. You got the simulation elements with the buttons and stuff taken out. The actual gameplay area itself is smaller because of the rear view, I think. mad. But I did it. Well, dang, that means there's only one I haven't finished. I have a little time. Let's see if I can knock out Night. I'd really like to get it done. Just because I did the other three.
You'll never catch me.
Yeah, see, this game has some of the widest roads of any Sega game, too. They feel wider than the original Radmobile. Sega Rally has really wide roads, too, and it's interesting to compare it to something like Dirt. What the? Also, your rival's almost always driving this lane, this left side of the road on the correct direction traffic side. You pretty much know where to be the entire game. And the trick is just kind of carefully easing into that spot with the analog and staying there as much as you can so that doesn't happen. It's happening too much now. This will, I don't think I can win now because of that. The traffic's just getting to be so bad here. I think that's why this one's really hard, is the traffic. I'm pretty sure I blew it. Close-ish. Mm. I did it. So yeah, there we go. I was able to finish all the Rad Rally tracks, and it is on default difficulty because I could not figure out how to change anything on that. There's no dip switches, but the test switch also didn't do anything, and the service button didn't do anything. So I'm hitting both of the service buttons and holding down for the test switch right now, and none of that shit works. Anyway, those are some Sega racing games. I dug a little deeper into Sega's library tonight with this stuff. I'm just going to play this out as I talk. We did some Turbo Outrun, a game that never really was a hit. Like I said, a lot of people probably don't even know it exists. Certainly not anywhere in the league of its original, but it had some interesting ideas. It's actually almost ambitious, I would say, because it has the turbo feature, the cops, the weather, the Cannonball run concept of it and stuff, which, like I said, all of that I feel led to Radmobile more than any other Outrun game. And this game is just a kind of like a versus mode variation on Radmobile that's simplified down to focus on head-to-head driving a lot. I think that makes it a little more boring as a single-player game, a little bit, just because it's so focused around just individual races. But honestly, the game plays well enough to where it's not that bad. So can't really rate this one. I'd probably rate Radmobile an 8 out of 10 now. And this kind of the same and variation of Turbo Outrun. I said was a 7 out of 10. A little bit of a weaker game than the Sega racing game library, but not total crap or not worthy of being played or anything like that. Just a little bit of a misfire before we got the incredible Outrunners, even more incredible Outrun 2, and the somehow yet even more incredible Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast, or whatever the other version of Outrun 2 is called. It's all fantastic. Anyway, there'll be plenty more Outrun. For the original game, like I said, I recommend the Switch version. It has true 60 FPS, excellent soundtrack options with the original soundtrack, plus a whole bunch of extra songs that are also, System 16 audio or whatever. The Sega Saturn would be my second recommended port of Outrun, of the original Outrun. The US version's bundled with a couple of other games. Is it Afterburner or something? And it's fine, but the Japanese one's not. But it has like a better sound, like an enhanced soundtrack in addition to the original, and people love it for that reason. And it also supports a 60 FPS mode, but you have to put in a code to do it, which is a little weird. But still, the extra smoothness is really nice. Also, really curious what the frame rate on these System 32 games is. I think they might be like doing kind of an interlaced frame trick, like Outrun does as well. But anyway, these are pretty fun. I love Sega racing games, especially the arcade stuff. I mean, it's good stuff. This is like a thing that Sega really know how to do, and so you generally get good results even with like some other, maybe lesser titles like this. Still fun games. So anyway, thanks for watching and have a good night.